Hey there, YouTube land. Today, I finally decided to make a video after about a 6-month hiatus, and I'm going to show you some reels I've recently rebuilt. But before I get to that, I'd like to explain why I didn't make videos for a while. So, one of the main reasons is because work has gotten busy and I haven't had time to make videos. I had hoped at the end of February to make them, but then I had a really bad head cold, and that put me out of commission for a bit, but thankfully I've since obviously recovered, and I'm fine now. And uh, so, yeah. But I'm finally making one, so let's get started. So I have 4 reels that I have recently rebuilt, mainly from parts in the parts bin and whatnot. The first one I have is this Zebco 33. Now this one, as you can see, has the 2 offset rivets, and it is a 1972 to 1974 model. Now the way I rebuilt this is that if you guys watched my Zebco 33 buyer's guide video, you'll know that I had a 1980 to 83 model 33, but sadly the post where the drag tensioner sits developed a crack. But thankfully, I was able to use the parts from that reel to rebuild this reel because they use the same parts. And so now I have another Lexan Body 33, and it turned out great. So there's one rebuild. My next reel I rebuilt is another 33. Now this one is a metal body. It's missing a lot of paint right here, but not a big deal. And the difference on this one is, however, this is a brass geared Model 33. And I had enough leftover Zebco 33 parts in my parts bin where I was able to rebuild this reel. So I'm very happy to have this earlier Zebco 33, and it's very neat, and hopefully maybe I'll get some use out of it. So there is that. The third rebuild, and like I said, I have 4 of these reels I've rebuilt, is a Mitchell 320. Now the 320 first came out in 1965 and was made as kind of an inexpensive reel as an alternative to a 300, and it succeeded the Mitchell 304 reels, which at some point I will show you those reels in a different video. I had this reel laying around in my parts bin for a while and figured out what the issue was and repaired it, and I have it spooled up, and I intend to take this out this summer and maybe get some bullheads on it, or maybe some bass, although it's mostly going to be reserved for smaller lakes and ponds like my Zebcos would be. But as you can see, working nice and smooth now, and just kind of a neat reel. Alright, the last, but certainly not least, of the rebuilds is a Mitchell 324, which is part of the same series as that 320. The 324 is kind of a more sophisticated version of a 320. It has the push button release spool rather than the traditional non-quick release spool, a 300 style handle, a more sophisticated anti-reverse. Other than that, it's mechanically the same. This one, again, I had this laying around for a while, and I did have to buy a few more parts for it, so that didn't come out of my parts bin, but they were readily available and fairly inexpensive, so thankfully for that, as a result, I was able to rebuild this reel, and I have to get some line on it, which I will do at some point down the road. But anyway, I don't know if I'll use this one this year or not. I don't really have a rod for it right now, unless I want to take a rod off one of my other, a reel, excuse me, off of one of my other rods, but we'll see. But again, now these came out 2 years after the 320 in 1967. And I think both reels were made all the way up until 1983, if I remember correctly. So they had a pretty decent run. There was over 1 million of both reels made. So parts are thankfully still fairly common and easy to find, and these ones you can find for cheap on online, flea markets, yard sales, etc. So there's another rebuild, and that's one of the beautiful things about working with vintage reels is they're usually worth the time to rebuild them if you can. So there are my 4 reels that I have rebuilt. So got 4 good reels, and hopefully I'll get some use out of them. Anyway, I apologize for this video being fairly short, but I figured I had the day off from work today, so I figured I'd make a video and finally have a new video out after a few months. Hopefully, maybe if I'm less busy in the summer, maybe I can get some field videos of fishing, like I did. I have done a few times in the past. I'm not sure when my next video will be, so you'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe.